In 2021, the taiga hermit Agafya Lykova underwent several global changes in her life. Let's start with the good ones. We'll tell you about the bad ones at the end of this video. At the end of November, the director of the Khakassky Nature Reserve visited the territory of the Zaimka Lykovs site and visited Agafya Lykova. As part of the group, volunteers and a new assistant arrived for the capture. He personally inspected the situation on the territory and checked the result of the work carried out. Agafya showed Viktor Nepomniachtchi how she continues to settle in the new house and presented the renovated house to the TYA. The director of the reserve delivered packages, correspondence, gifts and a solar panel installed by volunteers to her. By good tradition, Nepomniachtchi exchanged stones with Agafya. This time he brought her a beautiful agate, but she chose for him a stone from the banks of Aranath. Now the taiga hermit has 6 goats, 3 cats and a dog named Flower on the farm. To help Agafya, the priest Georgi from Orenburg will stay for the winter at the hut, whose finding was blessed by the spiritual father of Agafya Karpovna. With the help of satellite communication, Agafya was personally able to thank her spiritual mentor for the support provided. The trip and volunteer help took place with the support of the Volno Delo Foundation of Oleg Vladimirovich Deripaska. Earlier, the director of the reserve reported that Lykova wrote a letter to businessman Oleg Deripaska with a request to help in the construction of a new house. The old hut was in poor condition. In turn, the businessman's representative stated that Deripaska agreed to help the hermit. In December 2020, construction began on a new hermitage hut and continues to this day. In the summer, a new bathhouse was rebuilt at the hut and a brick oven was laid in the house. The director of the reserve Viktor Nepomniachtchi announced this on Facebook. "The bathhouse is small, but it turned out, in my opinion, very nice," wrote the director of the reserve. According to him, Lykova also insulated the house and equipped the cellar. As for the stove, the hermit herself made adjustments to its design. Nepomniachtchi said that the building materials for the stove had to be brought to Lykova's house in 6 passes. In total, 1,500 pieces of bricks and a ton of mortar were used. The work on the home improvement and the site of the elderly woman was in full swing for almost a month. At the same time, bears periodically visited the builders. Viktor Nepomniachtchi, in particular, said, despite the presence of builders in the work of the tool, for almost 2.5 weeks the bears, who wandered around the garden and kept the builders in a light tone, did not let them relax, Nepomniachtchi said. Agafya Karpovna herself phoned me about this, sending her reserve inspectors as safety net. Agafya Lykova was born on April 17, 1944 in the family of Old Believers of Chapel Consent, the Lykovs, who were forced to flee to deep forests due to religious persecution, where they lived their entire lives. Agafya's mother, Akulina Karpovna, died in 1961. In 1978, geologists exploring the Siberian expanses during an expedition stumbled upon the capture of the Lykov family. In 1981, within 3 months, 2 brothers and sister of Agafya Karpovna died. In 1988, her father also died, so she was left completely alone among the endless forest expanses. Now the bad news. Agafya Lykova's house burned down, which was built by her father Karp Osipovich. On September 8, reports that a fire broke out at the hermitage of Agafya Lykova, who lives on the territory of the Khakassky Reserve, began to appear. The fire itself occurred on the evening of Tuesday, September 7. Later it turned out that the new house of Agafya Karpovna was not damaged, the roof in the uninhabited old house caught fire. The fire was extinguished by 3 volunteers who were nearby and helped the hermit with the preparations. A large number of messages on various news sites on the internet are devoted to the causes of the fire. Blogger Andrei Bogdanov from Krasnoyarsk is accused. Sites relish this information by linking to each other. Whether the Siberian blogger is really to blame, no one knows. An investigation is underway. At the same time there were 4 more people at the capture. Where the others lived is not reported. Who knows the details about this fire? Please write in the comments below the video. We are monitoring this event and will report new facts. I also ask you to subscribe to the channel, press the bell for notifications, rate this video and chat in the comments about the family of famous old believers. I also ask you to go to other videos about Agafya Lykova, which you now see in the end screensavers. Thank you all for watching.